Please help. I saved the scan, but the details were lost. How can I prevent it from losing the details?
It's about the skin quality of a model's crown. Alberto asked in Italian, so I translated into English. He asked, is there a way to avoid losing details during software processing? I saved the scan, but the details were lost. Does this really happen, Chen?
This happened. I also had this experience.
Okay, it means the data was cleared when scanning, but the scan data became blurry during the saving process. That would be troublesome. What could be the cause? The saving process that he talked about seems to be referring to this button you press at the end of scanning. If you look at the screen now, there are three options to choose from when saving. So, we have to know what each button is for. Which one do we press? In our case, we almost always press only the first one. Pressing this, we save it as is. However, if a problem occurs during the post-processing process, even after pressing the first button, this is definitely a problem that needs to be resolved. Actually, we don't know the exact reason for why this happened. Let's take a look at a user's answer. He said that it's all caused by noise. There's no problem as long as scan data with accurate margins is obtained from various directions. This is true to some extent. If you get perfect data at first time, there will be no noise to remove, so processing will be minimal and less detail will be lost. Still, this answer is basically saying that if you are good at scanning, there is no problem. But since Chen, who is an expert at scanning, has also experienced this might be caused by something else. I thought we should check this as well, so we contacted Medit support team and asked them why this situation occurs. This is the official answer from Medit. When scanning, data is acquired in the form of voxel, but after scanning, it is processed into a shell. When generating cross-sectional data through processing, adjacent data is collected. During this process, the texture may be displayed with less detail because they affect each other. At this time, when you want to obtain accurate tooth color and soft texture, you can set the setting value to increase detail. Please note that when using this function, details can be increased, but as the number of messages increase, processing becomes slower and there is more data. Frankly speaking, I didn't know about this setting. I also learned for the first time that there is a setting that can control post-processing. HID mode, which is a function that can capture local areas more accurately, is said to have a larger message number than usual. We can use this knowledge and adjust setting value as necessary to maintain detail in cases such as when the margin is located at the subgingival level. Let's briefly revisit the scan movement to obtain accurate margin scan data. As the user mentioned earlier, it's a way to reduce noise. Ultimately, it's important to show only the information that is necessary to the scanner. An example of unnecessary information would be scan data of soft tissue. For this, I think the most important thing is gingival isolation. You will need to remove the soft tissue undercut by inserting two coats or doing gingival trimming in advance with a razor. After that, we'll need to lengthen the focal length and illuminate from various angles, but carefully change the angle within a very small range to avoid capturing the soft tissue. If you obtain a sufficient amount of margin scan data in this way and use the detail enhancement settings as advised by Medit, even difficult scans would retain their details. The case we are looking at right now is when I treated my father. Naturally, I would have done my best with this treatment. I made the subgingival margin to get the best image profile for this mandibular premolar tooth. To accurately obtain data of the subgingival margin, I had to move the scanner very carefully and then repeat the process several times. Even though it may take a long time, I think it's worth investing the time because the crown margins are so important. Chase is always telling me that to treat my patient in the same way I treat my father. So, when my technician has a hard time finding the margin, I reflect on myself and think I did my best. I think that obtaining the best scan data is not a very difficult technique. It's more related to the sincerity displayed for the patient. So, take your time in scanning. If you practice the rolling technique for the margin, you can acquire the skill, and time required for scan will be shortened. This is the answer to question number 3. Moreover, in my opinion, what is more important than scan technique is accurate crown preparation. If the margin is located at the subgingival level, the precision of data would be decreased with any other scanner. This is because perfect protection from moisture is very difficult, and margin data cannot be sufficiently obtained due to the hindrance by superficial undercut. So, if conditions allow, we would like to make a supragingival margin that can be scanned more easily. It would be much more advantageous in the aspect of scan data precision. But sometimes a subgingival margin is necessary for assay purpose or to get appropriate image profiles. In these situations, how can you overcome this? So, our method involves performing the scan after stabilizing the gums with temporary teeth for about 2 weeks. This is one of my very important rules to follow at my clinic.